I have my younger brother who tells me that America is 5 kilometers away from heaven. I say that all the time. America is 5 kilometers away from heaven. But when you think about it in the context of the world, America actually is. And when we come here, it's an opportunity. It's a blessing to be here. We have access to the largest capital market in the world, but we are just missing it. And for many reasons. Number one,
thank you everyone for joining us on another episode of Iwing Marketplace Chit Chat, where we give the opportunities for entrepreneurs to talk about themselves and what they do, so you can learn from them and connect with them. Right here with me, I'm with Charles Njoya, who is in Houston. Charles Njoya, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Ivan, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited to be able to speak with the people. So it's a great day, and let's make it happen.
Thanks for joining us. So please, can you tell us who is Charles Njoya? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Charles Njoya is an immigrant from Cameroon. I have been I've been living in this country now almost 10 years, and I have a background in accounting. I studied in the University of Boya, where I had my degree. And when I left the university, I was lucky enough to be selected to join a PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, which at the time was a top firm in, and this still now, it's the top firm in the world. So I joined PwC. I worked for PwC in Africa for a couple of years. Then I was moved to the UK, still with PwC. I became a manager in the UK, moved back to Africa. I was in charge of a lot of companies around Africa, just moving around. I was based out of Gabon, but moving around Africa. Then in 2010, I left PwC Africa, came to the US, and was with PwC again in the United States. And then I became a CPA. I was already a chartered accountant in the UK. And so accounting and taxes has always been my passion. And now we created this company here. It's called CHN. It's a CHN group. We have a couple of companies under it, and we'll talk about that as well. And we have been helping. We have just been helping. Yes.
Charles, let's talk about that. You know, help us understand what CHN Advisor is all about.
So CHN Advisors, it's a group of companies. We have 3 main companies within CHN Advisors, or CHN Group. The CHN Advisors, which is a small business advisory company. We provide advisory services to small businesses. We help them structure, we help them, we help create businesses. And that is really what, and CHN Advisors owns another company, which is called Liberty Tax. And under Liberty Tax, we do all the taxes. So we do taxes in CHN Advisors. And then we have CHN Financial, which is born out of this company because there was a need. We saw a big need in this country. This country is the capital market of the world. And most of these small businesses, they have a problem with access to capital. And we thought we have the tools to be able to help them get access to capital. There are 2 things that we thought we have always known that are necessary for capital. 1 is your financials through your tax return. And number 2 is your credit. And 90% we were already doing taxes for all these small businesses. And now the question is, they were trying to access capital. They can't access capital because of their credit. So we help them build their credit and then give them that pathway through CHN Financial. And then we have this 3rd company, which is CHN Tax Resolution. Many small businesses have problems with the IRS. They don't know how to resolve it. We have been working with the IRS for so many years. So we have CHN Tax Resolution. And our role is basically to help small businesses and individuals resolve their issues. Like people, I have clients who were owing the IRS maybe hundreds and hundreds of thousands. And we are able to bring them down to almost 0 and get a refund. And this was a big problem solvers to these businesses. So it's really three companies: CHN Advisors, CHN Tax Resolution, and CHN Financial, which build up to be providing the gateway for financial growth to small businesses.
Wow, Charles, you're building a very big conglomerate right there. This is really wonderful, what you're doing. And CHN Advisor, I see you have so many different wings. But let's bring it down to our community, especially the Iwing marketplace community, where, the young businesses that are struggling to grow. And, what are some of the problems that you've noticed why, our growth, in terms of business, having capital, why has this been difficult for us to see big African businesses in the US?
That is so. Ivan, that is a big question. That is a very critical question, and that was the bottom line for us creating this company the way we structured it. Most of our business people, they have a problem with understanding how to access capital. They are in the richest country in the world. I have my younger brother who tells me that America is 5 kilometers away from heaven. I say that all the time. America is 5 kilometers away from heaven. But when you think about it in the context of the world, America actually is. And when we come here, it's an opportunity. It's a blessing to be here. We have access to the largest capital market in the world, but we are just missing it. And for many reasons. Number one, when we have businesses, most of our advisors, and I would say this from a leverage standpoint, our businesses don't understand the concept of leverage. I will say this: most of our business, small businesses, we create businesses. When we get to that point where we're supposed to actually grow and become that massive company, we kind of limit ourselves. 90% of the people who are doing businesses in this country, they have been told fallaciously by some advisor that please don't show your income, don't report your income, or don't show that income because you're going to pay taxes. So most people, the business that they are doing that are a little bit that they can hide it, they tend to hide it out of their financials, which is a big impediment for access to capital. I tell people again that there are two things that you have to have right to be able to have access to capital. Number one is your tax return. When you go to buy that home in the United States, everybody is asking you for your 2 to 3 years of your tax return. There is something that they are looking at that tax return. And that something is something that is to be enhanced. And if I may tell you what that something is, it's your income, your ability to pay. What happens generally is that when you are making $100,000, for example, in this country, you can get up to 10 times that amount of money in credit. So imagine a small business who's making $100,000 and he has access to $1 million. Imagine what you can do with it. So taxes are going to be number one impediment. People have to do taxes strategically, not just because you want to comply. That's number one. Number two for businesses is that you have to take care. As a small business, you don't have a business credit. The business credit is going to be your own personal credit. And many of our small business owners have been involved in so many things that their credit is kind of messed up. So basically, you have to build your financials and then you have to build your credit. When you put those two things together, you have access to unlimited capital to build wealth. And that is what we help people do.
Wow, that is wonderful. I mean, you understand the problem. And, it's not only about the businesses, with a lot of individuals, when it comes to filing their taxes, a lot of people want to do it themselves. And at the end of the day, they have like problems. I mean, can you tell us what are some of the challenges people will face when they try to do their taxes themselves?
Okay, let me give you an example. Absolutely, great question. This comes back to that problem of leverage. We are at times penny wise and pound foolish. And I just said we have CHN Tax Resolution. It's all about tax resolution. We have CPAs who are there. We help people to resolve their tax issues. I have a client, for example, let me tell you, and I have so many of them. I'll just take an example of one. He comes to me and he has had this tax bill from the IRS. The IRS is telling him to pay 290 something, almost $300,000 in taxes for 3 years, 2016, 2017, 2018. This guy doesn't have a clue. So he brings all these things to me. He's been sleepless. He calls me in the middle of the night because he saw one of the videos that I did on Iwing Marketplace. He saw that video. And then he calls me at the middle of the night and he says, you are the guy to help me out. I'm like, okay, what's your problem? He sends me all this information in the middle, and by 2 o'clock, he sends me all those information. And he was about to be garnished by the IRS. And you remember, let me tell you this. The IRS is the #1 most aggressive debt collector on the planet Earth. They can do anything they want. They have license.
I remember in the last interview, you made the same statement.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this guy calls me, and when I say, okay, in the morning, the first thing I do, I stop all the collection process with the IRS. And that is a big, big thing that gave him some calm. Then I start looking at his files. I said, okay, let's look at what's going on. He brought me all these taxes and told me that he was doing these taxes with a friend, that a friend did his taxes. When I look at those taxes, he doesn't have no records of everything that he has on the file. So what do we have to do? We look at this guy. He was doing it because he thought that by doing it with a professional, it's going to be expensive. So that's why I say you have to be careful. We always think that we can do it. But if you are out there and you are a businessman, you're making money, you are better off using the services of those who know how to do it. This guy, I had to redo his taxes for 2016, 2017, 2018, and I brought him down from $290 something thousand. And we had him pay. He was paying $6,000 something in the taxes that were up to 200 and something. And not only did we give him that, we also put him on a payment plan with the IRS. And since then, that guy, all his taxes, he just sends them to me. Regardless of how much it costs. Good people are not cheap. They are not going to be cheap. Cheap is not supposed to be the concept of a businessman.
Wow, we have some of our audience. Jaya said she's guilty of that, trying to do her taxes by herself, So, we advise everybody to contact a professional, especially a CPA, So what are the benefits of working with a CPA like Charles Njoya when it comes to tax planning and filing taxes?
There is something that is called a tax preparer, and there's something that is called a tax planner or a tax advisor, someone who understands the tax laws. There are so many people who call themselves tax preparers out there. They will not be able, they know how to put your information in a conceptualized form to present to the IRS. But the question is, do they understand what they are putting in? Do they even understand all the optimization tools that are there that you can use to make sure that this guy is avoiding taxes? The only reason somebody will tell you do not report income because you are going to pay taxes is because he doesn't understand a thing about all those tax avoidance rules that are there for you to avoid taxes without even reporting your income. When you underreport your income, it is called tax evasion. And tax evasion in the United States is a crime. You will go to jail for tax evasion. But there are so many tools. This country is a country that is structured for small businesses. 95% of this economy is being managed, is being promoted by small businesses. And so they give all what people call loopholes. But these are not loopholes. These are actually tax benefits, tax advantages that are given to small businesses. You have to take advantage of that. And you can, by talking to an expert, they give you advantage of to all of that.
You mentioned something about optimization tools.
Yes.
So in most cases in our community, what I see people do is that they wait during the tax period before they start putting things together to file their taxes.
Yes.
So when is the best time to start using all those optimization tools? Is it at the beginning of the year, or at the tail end of filing your taxes?
That is an excellent question. And I say this again, in all my interventions, I tell business people, high income earners, those who are there, I tell them, and everybody actually, as a business person, you have to have your tax advisor, your CPA has to be like your next door person. When you're making any investment decision, they have to be involved. The timing of tax planning, that is what we call tax planning. Tax planning is that tool where you have to be speaking to your CPA. You have to be speaking to your tax advisor on a period every time. You started in January of the year before you get to December. By the time you get to December, you already know what your tax position is because you have used his services to avoid every tax, to take advantage of every tax loophole. When you go to somebody, you go to a CPA after December. December is a very strategic deadline for tax planning. In our office, we have 3 people that are very key. Apart from our marketing, which is the key, which is the growth mechanism, which is really the drive of our growth, marketing. What we are doing now, what do you help people do? But we also have 3 strategic people for small businesses. Number 1 is your CPA, which we know. Number 2 is the attorney. You need an attorney because when in America, when anybody starts making money, there is something called lawsuits. Everybody wants to sue you because they have grounds. You need to do something that they call limitation of liability for your assets. You need to look after your assets. So they must be, you have to have an accountant to make sure that you're doing the right things in terms of administrative work. You have to have an attorney who is a business attorney who is supposed to help you with structuring your business and avoiding that liability. And then the third is somebody that they call a financial advisor to help plan because financial advice is something that they call tax deferrals, tax deferral tools. Tax deferral tools, there's a lot of these tax referral tools that are going to come from the financial advisor who helps you with your defined benefits, with your old age benefits, all those things that you're going to get when you retire, retirement benefits. So those 3 people. Yes.
So all of this, right? Let's come back to our community.
Yes.
Do you need to have like very high income, in order to access the help of a CPA?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. In our firm, what we do is we accompany small businesses, small people. Everybody in the street is my client. I do, like, for example, there are so many people who are watching us now who have used the services of our company to have access to credit. They didn't make up to $100,000. They didn't make up to $50,000. They didn't make even up to $20,000. But we helped them to get 30, 40, 50,000, 60, 70, and even $1 million for people. For small businesses, we have been able to help people get up to $2 million in credit. So it goes from 0 right up to $2 million that are available for small businesses and individuals.
And a lot of businesses in the Iwing marketplace community, right? I mean, we have not only Cameroonian businesses, we have a lot of African that are listed on the platform. And a lot of people do transactions using mobile money like Cash App, Zelle, Venmo, and all those stuff. With the new tax law, how is that? What can they do in order to better report all this transaction that comes through their Cash App and mobile?
Great question. Great question. There's been a lot of talk around that issue, that new law that is starting on the 1st of January of 2022. So this law is about transactions that you transactions through PayPal, Cash App, Zelle, and all this stuff. So the only thing I tell people in this regard is when you are transferring money, you have to make clear the purpose of the money. Just write it in a note on that money. Make clear the purpose of that money. If you are sending money for family support, right there is family support. So that when the person who is receiving the money, when he receives it, or you are transferring money for, we have Jangis in our community. Jangi money is money that has already been taxed. There's no additional tax to it. But if I were to sell it to another person or to another business, and then I just sell it like that, then the IRS would take something like a 1099K, and then they will see that this money came in. The reports from Zelle, they are saying that they are going to tax that money because that's a way for them to try to curb this tax evasion where people don't report income. So the only thing I can say for now is that whenever you're transferring money by Zelle, by whatever, there is a portion there for you to say the purpose of that money. That is going to make it in a way that that money is not taxable.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And before we go, there are so many people out there who have not used your service, and maybe when they watch this video, they would like to contact you. What is your process like? And I mean, tell them something about, how you can handle them and why they should come to you.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, Ivan. You have done this, this is not the first time, and we've been working, and we have been seeing results of what Iwing Marketplace is doing. I will not overemphasize on what you are doing because I think your platform is a platform that people need to be more aware of. People need to be more aware of and support this platform because of the advantages that they have. When you have a common platform with people who think like you, who come from the same background, who are from your community, that is your initial point of marketing. That is your initial point of where people, they see you, they know you. Chinese come together through their own platforms. They don't even speak the English language, but they're still thriving because they have the platforms like Iwing Marketplace to work on. What I would tell people, those of us who are out there, our services are pretty straightforward. I tell people this is tax season. The first thing you want to do in tax season is you have to prepare your taxes. Regardless, when you come to us, our primary role is to help small businesses and individuals to optimize on their cash flow. To optimize, meaning if you have to have refunds, we help you get the biggest refund because we know what are all the loopholes that we can help you with. If you were somebody who is growing a business and you want to maybe access that $1 million commercial property that you want to buy, we also help you by understanding your needs. The first thing we do is we understand the needs of a client, and preparing taxes is going to be on the base of that strategy. We want you to meet that goal that you are aiming for. I want to buy that thing in 2 years. Okay, we understand that the bank, the credit underwriter needs A, B, C, D to be able to give you that credit. We already prepare your financials so that when you go to that to get that, you have access to that. We also look at your credit and make sure your credit is at that point where when you present it to that underwriter, you present it to that bank, they are going to take you. So our process again is simple. It's about helping people meet their own goals and help them. Also help those who don't understand certain things to have a clear understanding of the different structures of businesses so that they can make an informed decision on what they want to do.
Wow, thank you so much, Charles Njoya. This has been wonderful. You've given out a lot of information, and we appreciate that a lot. And if you're looking to file your taxes or you need a tax advisor, Charles Njoya is the one to be talking to. And you heard what he said. You can call him at any time during the year for him to help you. Thanks again, Charles Njoya. Thanks for sharing information with us.
Thank you, Ivan, and thank you, Iwing Marketplace. Thank you for the great job you're doing out there. I want to laud you, and I can't say the good things that I can't overemphasize on the things that you're doing. And we see that as business people who are advertising on Iwing Marketplace. Thank you for the great job. And I urge all those who are out there who are not already on the platform, so please join the platform, and you will see the advantages, the advantages you can get from this platform.
Again, thank you so much for watching. I mean, there's so many people, I can't read all the names because of time, but we really do appreciate you sharing us, supporting us, and coming just to share this information with us. And I mean, the beautiful comments and everything. Stay blessed. Have a wonderful day. Thanks, Njoya, and we are out.